Nice. Nice. I love it. I love. Um, oh, it looks like this stream was deleted on Facebook. Try creating a new stream or just remove this destination from the stream, then re-add it. Hmm. I wonder which one it's not live on and where it is live on. Would you be kind enough to check? I don't have another device here with me. We're live. Well, my tummy is a little bit. Oh, there's a person watching, so we're live somewhere. I don't just don't know what channel. We're live. It's I put it on my Exponential Joy, Recover Your Joy, and Nancy Nance page. So one of them flopped, but that's okay. That's oh yeah, and that's it too. We're here somewhere on the planet Earth, getting ready to do what matters most, meditating, man, because I need it in my life. I didn't realize how important it was for me until I became consciously aware of how many times in a day I meditate. I don't sit in the cross-legged lotus position formally for all my meditations. I do sometimes do that because there is a beauty in that whole reason for that posturing. Super, super beautiful reason for that. And in that there's just greatness. I'm changing from miracle um, to do. Which one do I want to do? I'm gonna go into the dissolve. Yeah, there's a good one. So when it comes to meditation for me is focused breathing, quite often with an incantation of a sort. So what I mean by an incantation is a series of words repeated for a certain desire. Sometimes you hear the word incantation and you think witchery and spell work, but it's not that kind of um, witchery. It is more. I will often use the I am affirmations. Um, I studied and studied and studied and studied meditation when I was going through the yoga teacher training, and wow, I became so enamored with the one that I fell in love with. And I think that happens to a lot of people is they will fall in love with a certain kind. We have a Facebook user who says hello ladies, so I will say hello back, but if you don't do the StreamYard allowing, it doesn't let you know who you are. So yeah, that would be helpful. Thank you so much. And I think that's one of the things that meditation has helped me with so much is that when I get on that crescent point of losing my shit, which happens often, I am able to come back to that present moment. So Chance, my son, is in town with his wife and his two daughters, and they'd gone to visit Jesse's auntie, Jesse's grandma Betty at the hospital. She's waiting to be transferred into a long-term care facility. And hospitals are a challenge for children. So Sunny needed to be taken outside for a breath of fresh air, and she was really struggling. So Chance asked her if she would be willing to meditate with Nona, and she was not. So I simply said, "Sweetie, would you please touch your nose? Just touch your nose. Nona's going to touch her nose." And if you can just feel your nose, and Chance is like, she's touching her nose. I'm like, okay, so push on your nose. It's still there. It's still working. I want you to breathe in through your nose. And she's like, okay, breathe. And then blow out through your lip, make that motorboat sound. And we started, Well, we started having some fun. It broke the chain. It broke the chain. Yeah. Yeah, because we can get this chain of repetitive thought that won't turn off, and that's where people are like, "I can't meditate. I try to meditate, and my mind doesn't turn off." You're not gonna empty it. I mean, it doesn't happen. An empty mind is a mind that is no longer able to think, and a mind that's no longer able to think is probably potentially dead. Maybe, right? So yes. Yep. Well, and it's that I am willing to accept the fact that the road filled with stupid people everywhere. You know, like it's conscious breathing. It's focused thought. There's so many, and then there's guided meditations, which is what we're going to be doing two of. One with me and one with you, because we both have our own different styles of meditation. And I noticed one morning I had made myself a cup of tea, and this one you can smell a little bit. This is butterfly pea and ginger. So it turns into a beautiful blue. Yeah, it's the blue one. I know you're all out of tea and I have to bring you some. And I'm choosing this one for the immune boosting as well as the tummy. Chance, Jesse, and the kids had been struggling with a stomach flu last week, and I want to keep myself in a good way of being. And this tea helps with that. So, it's those little things that we do. But when I was drinking the tea, earlier the week, it had a really strong cinnamon smell. So I was able to just breathe and think of all the times when cinnamon has been a comfort in my life. Smells. Yeah. Well, and there's that beautiful gap in between the breath, that still point that is so sensational. And that's why you use the lasers and the portal behind you. That's why I use mine, because it helps bring a change in the energy so that instead of vacillating up in that high, um, dense energy actually of anger and frustration, it brings it to a calmer place of contentment. Contentment and neutrality. Yeah. 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 Contentment, neutral. It's just that, yeah, I got this. I kinda got. Yeah, right? It's really cool. It's really cool, and I noticed that when people come to a session, there is that moment where, because I don't necessarily turn, my portal on right away at the beginning of a session. I'll wait and allow that time for introducing, how are things, where are you in your processes, how's the kids, how's the dogs, what's new, and then I will announce that I'm getting ready to turn it on so that my client's aware of what's going on. That way, they're more attuned to the change and what it feels like for them because it's different for everybody. So different. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it really well, that's what it is too, and that's what we're doing is sharing, offering the share, offering the support, holding space. But what were you gonna say? Definitely, you've got some cards. Can we go there first? Can we go with the cards first? Yeah. I did the draw. I did do the draw, and it was Karin that, won the book. I have not told her, it's, guess what, Karin? You won. We'll make sure that we share this with her later so that she knows who won, and it was really nice too because, though she has won, there is the opportunity to share that book with someone else who doesn't, that's super special. Yeah. Swan dive, like that. Mm. Mm. Yeah, that's a big one, and that's a big one for all of us for so many reasons. We have big changes in our lives right now as autumn, is here. There's a lot of opportunity for change. The weather is changing, we can't control that. There's nothing that we can do to control the weather, but we can adapt by changing our clothes. I know people that are taking their clothes out of the closet, bringing out the winter stuff, getting ready. I like those. I've been seeing a lot of comments about. I love those sweaters that we get to wear now in the fall. Um, More time for maybe harvesting vegetables, getting ready. And when we're moving forward in the direction of something that we enjoy, there's trepidation. What if it doesn't turn out? What if it doesn't turn out? What if I like? Well, absolutely. Will it matter in a year if you don't? If you don't try, will it matter in a year? Uh, you might regret it a little bit more. You know, I mean, I made some bold moves this last week, and everything is coming to a place where I'm feeling more supported by the universe. So that's super cool. Mhm. More support. So I'm just gonna pop up on here the banner that's going to explain what it is that I enjoy so much. Where is she? There it is. So, like I was saying earlier, when I took my yoga teacher training, one of the things that I fell in love with was the divine light invocation. Um, Amazing, amazing. And I've used it before at some of the live workshops that we were doing. It's my favorite, and I come back to it often. I would. This is a small taste. We're doing a meditation workshop a live in-person meditation workshop. So we'll talk more about that towards the end. But this will be a part of that as well. So we got to get a little teaser now. So I want everybody to begin by standing, not you and I. We're going to sit. You can do it in a seated position. You do not have to stand to do this, but it does help. It is more fun if you stand, but it works just fine if you're seated. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So there we begin. On February 2nd, 1956, I received an initiation from my teacher, Swami Sivananda, into the ancient order of sannyasa, the path of remuneration and selfless service. The ceremony was performed in a moment of inspiration and came quite as a surprise to me. I was deeply moved as the day passed. The impact deepened, and I felt the need to meditate upon the meaning of my new life. Near the ashram are the ruins of an old temple, invisible from the road. How I found my way there I do not know, but when I was wandering around among the tumbled down stones, I felt an overwhelming sense of familiarity. On the tower of the original building had fallen over, and there, half buried in the sand, was a little cave like shelter formed by an arch of the tower. I sat inside and began to meditate. Then I became aware that someone was standing near me. I looked up. It was a man. At first, there seemed to be nothing out of the ordinary about his appearance, but as I looked at him, I noticed that he radiated a great dignity, an aura and presence that was unmistakable to me. I realized that this was Babajaji, the famous figure who had appeared to a number of spiritual aspirants in North India over the previous centuries. It was now around sunset, and Babajiji pointed into the distance. Suddenly he shouted, "Tiger!" Surprised and terrified, especially since tigers are no strangers to those parts, I froze. My breath bated and every muscle tensed. I froze. My senses were keyed to their utmost. He then told me to relax. There was no tiger. He explained that he had used this means to show me that when concentration is at its height, two things happen in the body. The muscles become tensed, and the breath is suspended. He had produced this state in me by fear, but the same condition can be produced voluntarily and used for a specific purpose. He went on to show me and then explain the divine light invocation. I performed the invocation myself, and he showed me the technique for sharing the light with another person. So, preparing for the active part of the meditation, now that you understand what it feels like to be jolted into fear and jolted into your muscles being tensed, there was purpose in that. So, standing erect or sitting with your feet shoulder width apart, keep your eyes closed and focus them on the space between your eyebrows. I want you to lift your arms above your head at the same time as you smoothly and gradually tense your whole body while you inhale, keeping your arms straight and the tension maintained through the body. Hold the tension and the breath. Make the following affirmation to yourself silently and with concentration. I am created by divine light. I am sustained by divine light. I am protected by divine light. I am surrounded by divine light. I am ever growing into divine light. Release the breath and let your arms float down to your side. Takes a little bit of practice with it. So one more time, let's inhale, raising our arms, holding the tension in your arms, your body, and your breath, and mentally repeat, I am created by divine light. I am sustained by divine light. I am protected by divine light. I am surrounded by divine light. I am ever growing into divine light. Slowly exhale and relax and return your arms to your side. Acknowledging to yourself, every cell of this, my physical body, is filled with divine light. Every light of consciousness is illuminated with divine light. Divine light penetrates every single cell of my being, every level of consciousness. I have become a channel of pure light. I am one with the light. It's incredibly beautiful when we work with the light in our lives. And I think that's what's beautiful about when we say, I am sending love and light to you. And quite often I will perform this meditation with someone in my mind's eye, thinking of that person, offering the love, light, and the energy to that person. So another reason why meditation can be used in your life to help support yourself and others. And teaching children to meditate is one of the most wonderful opportunities that I've had in my life. I love teaching kids to meditate because when you're teaching a kid to meditate, you're teaching a parent to meditate too. Because kids love to come home and show their parents how to meditate. I mean, alternate nostril, where you take your thumb and you close one side of your nose and breathe in and breathe out, breathing into one side, and then moving your finger, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. It cleans the nostrils up really good too. So have a Kleenex, have a Kleenex nearby. But that's one that can just um, change. It balances both hemispheres of your brain, left and right, because the creative right brain, governed by the left hand, I mean, sometimes we can get really caught up in our creativity and forget the logic of what it is that we're doing. You know. No, no, it doesn't. It's fun. I mean, I love bringing crystals into my meditations, and I've got a basket full of them. I was going to put it near me, but I didn't. I've got a basket full of them somewhere. Well, that's strange. I don't know where they are, but I have them around. So many. Well, and you can simply hold a crystal in your hand and gaze at the crystal. Gazing meditation is beautiful. We've done that before where we've looked into the heart of the rose or the heart of a candle, simply staring at a flame while focusing on your breath is meditation. And when we remember what is important, then and important to us, what is important to each person. Yeah, so much. So much. And I mean, that's why we have all the different flavors of food and cultures of people, right? Could you imagine having to eat the same culture of food now that you've been exposed to so many? Life, that would be every one, every single one. And when I created them with the intention of for me and friends. I had done it right before Christmas. I was getting ready to go down to Kelowna, and I needed to busy myself with my hands because I was going for a birthday party, and I was going to be seeing someone who made me exponentially uncomfortable. And the thought of being in the same room as this other human being was causing me an incredible amount of angst. So I had to do something with my hands. And along came the creation of teas. Absolutely. And focus on the different properties. So, okay, if I'm going to be using something that isn't, necessarily tasty, like the mullein, isn't tasty, and the beautiful butterfly blue pea pod, the blue tea on its own doesn't taste. It's the ginger that I have in it that tastes. So, and I mean, working with ginger helps the tummy. Working with some of my blends is a challenge because horsetail tastes like a horse's ass in the barn. I mean, it's really earthy, okay? Right? It's super earthy. And it's funny because when quite often people are like, "Oh yeah, I want a tea for horsetail is great for detoxifying the liver." But it so I add a lot of flavors to those blends when I'm custom creating for people because it depends upon what you're coming to me for and how willing you are, to try something that will help you in the long run but might not taste good, you know? Oh gosh, there was, a lot of things in my childhood that um I had, I didn't have a choice. Like, there was no choice in especially at my grandmother's house, my Oma, she was sweet, super, super sweet. My Oma was incredible, is incredible, even though she's on the other side, she's still with me. However, if I became ill and she was putting that mustard pack on my throat, I mean, there was no, right, there wasn't an ask. Mhm. You had to breathe your way through it. So I think even back then, I was practicing some form of meditation, to help me through the times. And I love how many times it's helped me. I know when I was really challenged after Emily passed away to focus my thoughts, the only way that I could was with mala meditation, and that's where the bracelets that we both wear help because I am able to focus. I find a starting point, in between the hands, or something, and then I simply breathe in and breathe out, move, breathe in and breathe out, and that's where rosary beads, that prayer can become a meditation as well. You know, there's so much, so much. Yeah. Oh, so many, and when I ooh, that's got something funky going on there. There we go. When I, bring in and we're gonna be talking about sacred ritual more next week, but when I bring in the things that I smudge, that amplifies and increases my ability to meditate within the sacred traditions. So it's pretty cool, but go ahead. Mhm. Or what is it that you don't like about meditation? Yeah, what don't you like about meditation? Is there something more you wanna learn about meditation? Um, yeah, right? Tell us, because that's where the conversations can become the next step in what it is that you're willing to leap forward into in your life, because when you're afraid of change, often you're focusing on what it is that you don't want ahead of you. If you can imagining it as it is possibly able to become, and staying in that beautiful, delightful daydream. I mean, I love going into the space where I'm imagining the next great thing in my life. Eternal optimism. Yeah. Eternal optimist, optimal optimist, right? And it's so important because we can focus on the things that aren't going right in our life. And that's what we talk about, what's new. And then we bring up, oh, Johnny's such a jackass or whatever it is. And Johnny's causing me all this. And I really wish I didn't even have to work with Johnny. What would you like to do? I'd love to hear about what it is that you want to create in your life. More, more Jack, less Johnny. I don't know. More Jack, more Jill. There's so much. And I mean, we've got so many different spots and spaces that we enjoy things in our life. Like I know that tonight there's a premiere on television that I'm exponentially excited to watch because Yellowstone's back, right? And there's so many things that could happen. Oh my gosh, right? Like I am totally pumped. I am so, so, so pumped for that. Um, I like anticipating great things in my life, and often great things in my life do appear. Yes, I have irritations and obstacles, um, but I've got great people to help me along the way. Mhm. I'm trying. I'm gonna get up. Well, and that well, I mean, there are so many things that are coming into being in each and every one of our lives. Um, that 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 we don't even know about yet. And that's where the great vortex of all things, where all the sparkles and all the creations are waiting. Because if you're thinking about creating something, someone out there is waiting for you to create it. It is, and that's not, yeah. Well, and that's where it can be a great big something, or it can just be something that you really just want to spend more time doing. I've got a dear friend of mine that crochets the most beautiful baby blankets. Most beautiful, and I've been thinking about her, and I wonder if she still does that because I'm gonna be having a new addition in our great family, not my birth, that's a long time past, but I'm gonna be having that addition in my family, and I wonder if she's still knitting, crocheting, I can't remember the difference. She makes beautiful blankets with wool. Um, that is creation. Yeah, filled with love, filled with love. So what is it that we can all create more of? Love. Yeah. And cookies. I like cookies. Gosh, I love all homemade cooking. All of it. I will not ever complain about food that is prepared for me. I will eat it all. I've even learned, it's really funny because one of the things that I don't like is pea soup. I had a nasty, nasty caretaker when I was in the preschool kind of age, and she made me pea soup, and she made me stay at the table to eat it, and I hated it. And then my sister-in-law by design, so makes the most wonderful pea soup. Terry makes the most astronomically amazing pea soup. Oh my god, I just love it. So, even when we think that there is something that we don't like, there's always another way to try it. Yeah. Mhm. Most definitely. Would you be willing to move forward into your meditation? Okay. Mm. There are so many wonderful reflections of each and every person that's watching or will be watching later. And I hope that there is more creation of the beautiful things in our world. I I am so looking forward to many of the rituals. Sacred rituals are what we're talking about next week, but there are rituals that we have around different holidays. Thanksgiving, for example, that is such a beautiful opportunity to share gratitude with another, to make a bracelet for somebody that says, I love you, to do the things that can bring us back into a more closely knit community and knit together with love. I was blessed with so many little things this week. I had a young man that held the door open for me. Um, and he said, my mom taught me well. And I've had a lot of my mom taught me well messages this last week. And we can teach our children by being better people ourselves. Better. Just a better version of me than I was yesterday. Just a little bit. Yeah, there's a lot that we can teach by example. Um, so much. So very much. And that doesn't mean that we need to be a doormat for people to rub their boots across. Doesn't mean you lay down and take a bunch of shit off somebody's boots, spread it all over yourself because you don't want to cause an upheaval. Sometimes an upheaval is the best way that you can support by creating change. So you do what you got to do to move on to the next chapter. I don't often recommend doing anything that's going to cause harm, um, but sometimes an upheaval is the change that we need. Yeah. Nope. Most definitely not. Most definitely not. And when we boldly make those changes in our lives by articulating what it is that we clearly want, we put the card in the other person's side of the table. You know, my uncle always said to me, "A card laid is a card played." And I played a few cards this last week where I'm like, "Wow, uh, yeah, change, big change. Oh my gosh!" And I'm definitely uncertain, but the adventure is gonna be grand. Yeah. Mhm. Yes, please. Please. I could hear them. I could hear them moving, and I'm just like, "Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah. Bring another one on. Bring another one on." Mm. That can happen so much during meditation as well. So, as we're meditating, there is that opportunity to have clear insight as to perhaps what it is that you want more of. I know when I was going through the meditation that you just did, I had a shooting pain in the center of my bicep when I was thinking about a certain person, and I'm just like, "Whoa, that's you?" And I'm like, "Okay," and that's okay. Um, Now I'm just more aware. I'm much more aware, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, right." Clairvoyance. Well, and again, that is where we need to be clear about what it is that we want more of in our lives. When we say that we want more friendships that, that bring me the support, yeah, that lift me higher, that bring me the support, the encouragement that I want. That people that are gonna reach out and say, "Hey, how are you doing with this new adventure that you're creating?" That's the kind of support that I really enjoy in my life. Yeah. Happy, humorous, you know, I like that. I really like that a lot. So, thank you once again for showing up. It was great. It was great. So next week we're going to be talking about sacred ritual. I'm going to be bringing in a lot of the traditional herbs that are used. Not herbs is the wrong word. Um, Elements from the earth that are used in the processes of smudging. We're talking a lot about that. I've got about four different types that I'll be using. Um, so that's something that I'm very, very, very excited about. I've really been doing some research about where they came from and how they got their names. So, yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's gonna be great. So, yes, it's in a beautiful, beautiful small town in northern Alberta. So it gives you the opportunity to get away from the city and go somewhere where it's got that to me it's got that little house in the prairie kind of feeling, and I just love especially the drive to get there. Oh, I'm enamored with it completely, so we'll have that up on our pages hopefully this week. So yeah, yeah, so in the meantime and in between time, yeah, right, so peace out. Have a good week. It's been a pleasure. Absolutely, absolutely, and that's where the beauty of what we do, um, can grow and expand, and that way, um, there'll be more, there'll be more, there'll be more, there'll be more, last week we, gave away a copy of, your You Do You, and, this week I'll be giving away, tea. So, comment joy and share, and, you'll get a chance to win, some lovely teas. So, there we go. I know, I know. I'll bring them over, and we'll have some fun. So, have a great rest of your day, and have a wonderful week. Bye. Ending.